Hello, boys and girls. Welcome to the Ministry of Education and Partners COVID-19 Teaching by Radio program. The Ministry of Education and Partners COVID-19 Teaching by Radio program is a 30-minute radio intervention support program that is meant to provide continuous instruction to keep you academically engaged during this stay-at-home period, as well as preparing you, our 6th, 9th, and 12th graders for the pending Liberia Primary School Certificate Exam, Liberia Junior High School Certificate Exam, and West Africa Senior Secondary Certificate Exam when the time comes. Also, in addition to this academic support, the program is meant to provide psychosocial support for learners, teachers, and parents, and also tips on how you as parents and teachers can provide support to your students and children at home. Now, let's join our teacher for today's lesson.
Hello, learners. This is your language arts team, Madia Mensah, Florence Allen Jones, and Hassan Bangura Sr. The lesson will be presented by Madia Mensah and Hassan Bangura Sr. Welcome. Our subject today is Literature in English for students in grade 12. And the topic is an analytical summary of the drama, The Blood of a Stranger by Dele, Charley. Please take your pencil, pens, and copybooks and get ready for today's lesson. Again, welcome and let's learn. The literary terms are 1. Setting, the time and place in which a literary work occurs. 2. Character, a person or animal who takes part in the action of a literary work. 3. Conflict, the main problem or struggle in the literary work, which can be either internal or external. And 4. Theme, a central idea of a literary work. There can be more than one theme in a story. Now, learners, please listen as we present the summary of The Blood of a Stranger by Dele, Charley.
The Blood of a Stranger is set in a fictional village in Sierra Leone in the early days of the colony and centers on the unavoidable conflict between traditional preservation and the modernizing presence of the British colonizers. The fraudulent activity of the British colonizers, represented by a white stranger, symbolically called Whitehead, is exposed in the play through the king's son, Kindo, who is the chief of the warriors and the next in line to the throne of Mandoland. Kindo is an upright defender of Mandoland. He is willing to defend his culture and his people, even to his own hurt. Whitehead, on the other hand, is a crass, greedy dictator who arrogantly believes he can deceive the entire land into granting him access to its diamond. A further irony is that Whitehead both disregards the culture. He introduces the people to alcohol, tobacco, and hardcore hallucinatory drugs, and manipulates the culture by seizing on key traditional beliefs that favor his ominous plot. For example, he seizes on the decree of death for anyone who kills in peacetime so as to trap Kindo. He also describes diamonds as evil stones that should be handed over to him in a land purification ritual he dreams up. Whitehead's moral decadence is further exacerbated by his attempt to rape a country virgin Kindo's woman, Wara. The attempted rape of this country virgin in the play symbolizes the rape of the country's natural resources that the colonial government is essentially after. It is worth noting, however, that Whitehair's deft manipulation of Manoland society is aided and abetted by the corrupt priest of the shrine, Soko, and the chief assistant to the king, Maligu, who are hoping to gain personal wealth by assisting Whitehair. Their ignorance of Whitehair's true motive, he wants diamonds, whereas he is there to cultivate tobacco. The tragic essence of the play rests mainly on the king's rigid adherences to tradition in the face of irrevocable change. It may seem a little odd, even disappointing, that the king will hastily banish his own son without regard for the motive behind Kindo's behavior, especially since Kindo remains morally impeccable throughout the play. Perhaps one could chalk the king's cultural rigidity at this juncture in the play to the fact that Whitehair has introduced him to hallucinating drugs, although the link between the two events is not convincingly made in the play. A more convincing explanation may lie in the playwright's consistent critique of the uncritical adherence to culture, as if cultures are static, not dynamic. That is to say, that while the play seems to esteem tradition, it also challenges the audience to examine the values behind traditional beliefs, especially where common sense changes are needed with the changing times. For instance, Kindo, like Maligu, knows that the priest does not honor the tradition of the land, even though he is supposed to be the protector of it. Soko has built a hut in the forest where he enjoys a comfortable bed instead of sleeping in the rustic shrine at night. Ignorant of this fact that people of Manoland, including the king, hold the shrine in veneration, Maligu will of course use the knowledge of Soko's deception to blackmail him into divining the entrance of a wild stranger into the land, thus further contravening the laws of the land. The corrupt leadership of the priest of the sacred shrine and the chief advisor to the king parodies the colonial legacy of political, social, and spiritual decadence in the country. Overall, as tragic as the play is, similarly tragic for Kindo, there is moral retribution in the end when Whitehair is given a taste of his own recommendation. He is sacrificed rather than Wara. The play successfully demonstrates the evils of African colonial encounter with the West without presenting the colonized as mere victims.
Okay, learners, that was the summary of the drama. Now, let's present the characters.
Maligu.
Maligu, the king's advisor, who is greedy and has an over-ambitious personality.
Soko.
Soko, the village shrine priest who is in league with Maligu to deceive the king and the community and fake prophecy in respect of the coming of a white man to Manoland.
Wara.
Wara, a stranger in Manoland, but has lived there enough to detest being called a stranger. She is also in love with Kindo.
Kindo.
Kindo, he is the son of the king and head of the warriors of Manoland. a hunter and heir apparent to the throne of Mando. He is an upright defender of Mano land who is willing to defend his culture and his people even to his own detriment.
King Santigi.
King Santiki, the king of Mano land and father of kingdom. He is an upright man and a strict observer of traditional laws and cultural norms. He was manipulated into admitting a stranger into his domain.
Parker.
Parker. He is an African who is secretary assistant, interpreter, advisor, and the right-hand man of Whitehead. Whitehead shames him into his plan to kill Soko, the chief priest, a sacrilegious act that earns him death in the hands of kingdom.
Whitehead.
Whitehead. This is the arrowhead of the crisis in the play. Very evil and a shamer. Whitehead is a crass, greedy dictator who arrogantly believes he can deceive the entire land into granting him access to its diamonds. A white man and a stranger falsely prophesies to visit Manoland. He lies to the king and his people that he is in Manoland to cultivate tobacco. We just presented to you the characters of the drama. Now we're going to take a look at the themes.
Colonial arrogance and exploitation.
Colonial arrogance and exploitation. Whitehead comes to Manoland with a blatant air of superiority, which is why, after 2 days of arrival in the land, he refuses to pay homage to King Santigi until Kino forces him. This is a reflection of colonial arrogance in history. Even though the real colonial mission is to exploit, they still engage the owner of the land in service labor to advance that interest and also expect to accord him honor and respect.
Patriotism and resistance to oppression.
Patriotism and resistance to oppression. The patriotic zeal of Kindo to save Mano Kingdom from the hands of Whitehead. When Whitehead refused to accord King Santigi his deserved respect, it is Kindo who restores it by putting him where he truly belongs, beneath the king's feet.
Greed and ambition.
The theme of greed and ambition runs throughout the play. The key characters involved in this are Whitehead, Malibu, and Soko. Their sole ambition is to get rich. Whitehead comes to Manoland with dubious intent to cut the people's diamond wealth away and become extremely rich. The other two, Malibu and Soko, connive with him to carry out his intentions and also get rich in the process.
Justice always wins out against oppression.
Yes, justice always wins out against oppression. The white man symbolizes Britain's rape of Sierra Leone's natural resources. In the play, the Sierra Leonean people are presented not only as victimized, but also conflict in the exploitation of their own people. Through the gifts of strange tobacco and alcohol, Whitehair takes advantage of the drugged natives and exploits their resources. With the help of Kindo's woman, Wara, but in the end, his elaborate plans fail. Learners, we hope you have enjoyed the summary of the play, The Blood of a Stranger, and have a better understanding of the literary elements found and discussed within. To read the drama or watch its enactment, and to help you complete the assignment which will be given, please visit www.lasu-info.com or YouTube and put in the name of the drama, The Blood of a Stranger. Remember, this is a grade 12 literature in English presentation. Before we give out your homework assignment, please listen to some health information.
Coronavirus spreads via droplets. When the person coughs or sneezes, the droplets land on surfaces and are picked up on the hands of others and spread further. People catch the virus when they touch their infected hands to their mouth, nose, or eyes. It follows that the single most important thing you can do to protect yourself is keep your hands clean by washing them frequently with soap and water or hand sanitizer.
Welcome back, learners. For your homework assignment, remember you can use two resources: www.lasu-info.com or watch the enactment of the drama on YouTube. Number one, discuss the presence of Whitehead in Mondo land. Again, number one, discuss the presence of Whitehead in Mondo land. Number two, how is the conflict of good and evil resolved in the drama? Number two, how is the conflict of good and evil resolved in the drama? Number three, comment on the life of the people of Mandoland before and after the arrival of the white man. Number three, comment on the life of the people of Mandoland before and after the arrival of the white man. Number four, how does the relationship between Kindo and King Santigi affect the future of Mandoland? Number four, how does the relationship between Kindo and King Santigi affect the future of Mandoland? And number five, what is the role of the shrine in the culture of the people of Mandoland? Number five, what is the role of the shrine in the culture of the people of Mandoland? Thank you, learners. Please continue to study until we meet next time. If you have any questions or need clarification on today's lesson, please text it to the following numbers: 0775 591 582 or 0555 811 309. This has been Madia Mensah and Hassan Bangura Sr. Thank you.